For today's workout, we're going to be doing some wrists, hands, tiny bit of fingers, but mostly wrists and hands. We'll also touch on the elbows just a little bit. It's not planned to be too long a class, so if we have time at the end, maybe we'll do a little bit of ankles or something else that you guys choose. Let's see, you'll want to have handy, I just have a little bit of optional equipment if you want some balls as additional tension objects to grab onto while we're doing wrist cars and elbow cars. Go ahead and grab those. And then you'll also want to have a dumbbell and either a bench or chair or something that you can just come over off of the edge here into when we do our wrist extension eccentrics all the way into fingers. So light dumbbell, kind of a bench or chair, something you can come over the edge, and that's it. So pretty minimal as far as equipment goes. For everybody joining live, if you have any questions, need any modifications, anything like that, I'll be monitoring the chat. And you could also just unmute yourself, just shout it out, let me know, and we'll get that addressed for you as we're going. So we'll just go ahead and jump in. We're going to get started. I'm going to get my tension objects, and we're going to start out with our elbow cars. We'll go into our wrist cars, and then we'll have a couple variations. So start off for our elbow cars. For those not familiar, we're taking our elbows through their full range of motion. We're familiar that elbows go into flexion and extension, but oftentimes we don't train that pronation and supination of the elbow. So we're going to be combining all of that motion into one movement. So it'll look like this. We're going to start off elbows pinned to the side. So we don't want the elbows or the shoulders kind of raising as we're going through the motion. We're just kind of getting that movement through our elbows. We also don't want our wrists chiming in along with the elbows. Really try to get only movement through the elbows, flexion, extension, and rotation. All right. So it's going to look like this. We'll pin our arms to our side just to make sure that the elbows are staying still. For the first part of the movement, we're turning up. So supinating, turning up as we move into flexion. We're twisting down on the way down. Maintain that full tension, that twist all the way up. So don't just twist to start, then come up. Fully twist all the way up, twisting down on the way down. We'll do a couple of those, and then we'll reverse. We'll twist down on the way up into flexion, and we'll twist up, supination, into our extension. All right, so go ahead and get started with the first part of the movement, twisting up on the way up. So supinate. Big twist, big tension coming up, and I'm trying to twist the forearms, kind of feeling that happen as close to that elbow joint as possible, not just twisting the wrist. So twisting up on the way up, over, twisting down on the way down, twisting up on the way up, over, getting as much twist down, pronation on the way down. We'll go one more time. Supination on the way up, big tension, squeeze, twist, over and down. Now we'll reverse it, twisting down on the way up, over and down, twisting down on the way up, twist, 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 hit that top, over and down. One more time, twisting down on the way up, over and down. All right, we'll go into our wrist cars now, just taking our wrists through their full rotational range of motion. The main motions for the wrist moves every direction, right? It moves quite a bit, but the main directions that we're kind of thinking of is wrist flexion coming in, wrist extension, ulnar deviation, and radial, right? So you're going up thumb side, coming in pinky side, thumb side, pinky side, and then combining all of those points into a big circle. One note, as you move from pinky side down, we're not twisting at the elbow anymore. So the bottom side of your wrist is going to face the same direction the whole time. We're going to start with them facing up right now and then we'll do it a variation where they're facing down. So wrists up, elbows again pinned to the side just to keep everything else nice and still. We're coming into wrist flexion. Hold flexion as I come to pinky side. Hold pinky side as I move to extension. Hold that extension as I twist over to thumb side or rotate over to thumb side. Thumb side back to flexion. Around again, move nice and slowly. And try to get every centimeter of motion that you can get. So if you don't train wrists a lot, the mind-muscle connection might not be there, and there might be kind of gaps or areas where you feel like you're kind of skipping through. Really try to move slowly through those areas and not skip them. All right, let's reverse directions. So flexion to thumb side to extension now. Holding extension as I move to pinky side, back in and around. Slow, smooth circle, one more time through. And good. All right, so if we, just kind of a quick note, why I really emphasize trying to gain control through the areas that you can't control. If we always let our body skip those areas that it wants to skip, we'll never gain motor control of those areas. So we're always working to be more precise, gaining more control. It's a motor skill, almost just like a child learning to color in the line. So imagine if you have a circle, because this is a circular motion, say they have a crayon, and when they first learn to start writing, right, they're not able to stay in or on that line. There's areas that it skips. And we always try to correct them, hey, stay within the lines, or, try to be more precise with it. And as they work that precision, their motor control improves. If we never concentrate and try to confine that movement, it'll take a lot longer to improve that. So always try to kind of draw that smooth circle, smooth line, motor control, motor learning. We're going to combine our wrist car and our elbow cars now. So we're just going to do a wrist car at each spot, each kind of major point in the elbow car. So at the beginning, full extension, midpoint, full flexion, pronation, and we'll do wrist car this way, midpoint, and extension. All right, so here we'll start off in full elbow extension. Arms are still against the side, and wrist car moving into flexion. Pinky side. And I'm still not turning over at the bottom, so wrists are still facing up. Going into extension, pulling back, thumb side, around back to flexion, and we'll reverse it. We're just doing one in each position. So flexion to thumb side. Hold that thumb side as you go into extension. Extension to pinky side, around back to flexion. We're going to come into the mid zone now. Kind of just where we just did them. Flexion to pinky side to extension, extension to thumb side to flexion, and we'll reverse it. Flexion to thumb side. And even though I'm calling out the points, try to make it as smooth as you can. Take it up one level higher, all the way full flexion, full elbow flexion, and we'll move into wrist flexion to thumb side to extension, hold extension to pinky side back to flexion, and reverse it. Wrist flexion to pinky side to extension, extension to thumb side to flexion. And we're going to just rotate the elbows all the way around. So now we're going with our hands in pronation. So we'll go flexion to thumb side to extension, extension to pinky side back to flexion and reverse, flexion to pinky side to extension, extension to thumb side back to flexion, drop it to the middle, flexion to thumb side to extension, extension to pinky side to flexion and reverse, flexion to pinky side to extension, smooth circle, extension to thumb side to flexion. All the way down, extend those elbows, flexion to thumb side to extension, extension to pinky side around back to flexion and reverse it. Flexion to pinky side to extension, extension to thumb side back to flexion. All right. So put my tension objects off to the side, and we are going to work the wrist tissues on the bottom side and the top side. So what I want you to do, let me move this just a little bit, is we're gonna find, and you can be up on your counter, you can be up if you have your chair handy, just easier for me on the ground here. We're gonna find a good stretch on the underside of the wrist. So whether your fingers are facing forward, whether the fingers are facing out to the side, whether they're facing back, just find the best stretch position. Both hands don't have to be the same. This isn't a form check for your exercise, right? We're targeting tissues. So whatever position best allows us to target the tissues that we're after. So just explore, where are you feeling it best on the underside? If you're feeling a pinch on the top side, that's a closing angle pinch. You don't want that, so we're not pushing through that. So just ease off of your range. If you're feeling that, try a different position. There are techniques to address that, but we're not going to cover them in today's class. So try to find just a stretch on that underside first. Once you've found that position, lock yourself in. So just hold that deep stretch. Get into as best a stretch as you can. If I'm here, I'm going to come up, holding myself in that stretch. If I'm here, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to hold myself in that stretch. Hold that stretch. You're going to slowly start, if you're this way, pushing those fingers down. If you're this way, push those fingers. If you're this way, push those fingers. Whichever position you are, start pushing those fingers down into the mat, and you should feel that stretching tissue working. Send a good amount of force through them. If it's really intense and you're new to this, keep the force low, maybe 30, 40%. If you're a little bit more familiar with some of the wrist training, let's get it up to about 70, 80%. And we're going to hold that for 30 seconds. So ramp that up and nice squeeze, pushing down. We're going 30 seconds here. Push. Good. Staying locked in that stretch. At the end of the 30 seconds, we're going to stay in this exact same position. We're just going to reverse direction. So as if you're trying to lift your fingers up to the back of your forearms. Nothing will move. So we're staying in the exact same positions, just a different direction. You go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse direction. So now instead of trying to push this way or push this way, now I'm trying to pull back. I'm pulling my fingers back. Squeeze, pull back. Good. Get a nice contraction. Try to fatigue out top side forearm tissues for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly ease off of that. And we're going to do the top side now. So we'll just switch directions. Same thing, scan, find a stretch, fingers in, fingers back, fingers forward. Whatever your best stretch position is, find that. And same thing on the closing angle side. So this angle is opening, getting bigger, and this angle on this side is getting smaller. On the closing angle side now, if you're feeling a pinch on this way, same thing, just ease out of that stretch a little bit, play with a different position, not pushing through any joint angle, closing joint angle pain or discomfort here. Once we've found that, feeling the top side stretching, now you're pushing to try to get out of that stretch, pushing down against that top side, start ramping that up, push, and whatever tension level you want to work at, push, and 30 seconds of tension. The goal is not to last to the 30 seconds and beyond. It's to really be trying to fatigue. So we're really trying to get fatigue through those tissues in that 30 seconds. That's what's going to send that stimulus to adapt the tissue. So we really want to get to that fatigue. If there's no signal to change or no challenge, then there's no adaptation. We'll go 5, 4, 3, stay in the exact same position and reverse. Now I'm trying to squeeze in, right? Not through the shoulders, I always kind of over exaggerate, but just squeeze in using the flexors now, pulling in. Try not to mutate the hands right now. So we're not going like this with our fingers. Try to keep those hands neutral and straight and just pulling with those flexors. Pull. And we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly ease off of that. We're going to go 1 wrist car in each direction, and then we'll do a shorter 20-second set right after that. So we'll go get up in our position for our wrist cars, move into flexion. So you just got a good flexion squeeze. Try to use all that flexion. Hold flexion as I go pinky side to extension. Squeeze all that extension stuff you just squeezed. Hold extension as you go thumb side, around back to flexion and reverse. Slow and smooth. All right, and we'll reset. Coming back down, try to choose a little bit different position unless you really felt like you got great work in that position that you were in and you want to go back to it. So if it's relatively the same, try to be in a different position, but still feeling that stretch on the underside tissues. Find that tension. Start pushing those fingers down, ramping, medium, and strong push. Again, 20 seconds now. Try to go just slightly higher, just a little bit more than you did last time. Big push. It's shorter, so we're trying to reach fatigue in a shorter duration. Big push. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse. Big squeeze, topside stuff, fingers to forearms, squeeze up. Big squeeze, fatigue those tissues. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Flip it over. Wrist flexion, PAILs and rails. Find a position, maybe a little bit different than your last time. Find that stretch, lock it in, start pushing against that stretch, using the stretching tissue. Push, ramp it up, ramp, and strong push. 20 seconds. Fatigue those tissues out. Using just those stretching forearm tissues, pushing into the ground. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse direction. Squeeze up. Squeeze those palms towards your forearms. Hands staying neutral. Squeeze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off of that. One wrist car, each direction. Ready and begin. Pinky side or flexion. Flexion to pinky side. Pinky side to extension. Squeeze that extension. Extension to thumb side. Thumb side to flexion and reverse. Smooth circle using all of those tissues you just worked. And relax. All right. We're going to go into continue wrists, move down to hands a little bit. So what we're going to do for that is little hand and finger push-ups. So you can make this as challenging as you want to. You could just go, what you're doing is just pushing your hands into the ground, creating motion, push up, get those palm heels off the ground, up to that bottom knuckle line and up to those fingers, slowly back to the knuckle line and palm down, right? So and the more you come out, palms up. I can't even get to my fingers from here. So if you want more work into the fingers, or if you just want to kind of strengthen most of that palm, wrist, and forearm, you could just come to here. If you want to get all the way to the fingers, come all the way up. So you could go just palms, come out just palms. I don't think I can do it from push-up position. Yeah, I can't do it from push-up position, but if you want to make it really challenging, you can do it to push-up position as well. And we're just going to get 60 seconds of just continuous tension, not resting at the bottom unless you really need to, but we really want to work fatigue. And if that range of motion starts getting smaller towards the end, you can either walk yourself and come here. You're lightening the load, right? So the further out, the harder it is. You can really control your load here to keep that range of motion. If your goal is to focus on staying strong through that full range of motion all the way to the fingers, then we'll just maintain that range of motion and keep scaling back. Your goal is really just to strengthen that move a little bit, but don't necessarily need to focus all the way through the fingers. As you fatigue, instead of going all the way up, you can keep tension. The motion will get smaller, but you're staying exactly on that one small, very precise area that you want to target. So your call of how you want to do it. We want 60 seconds this way, 60 seconds the other way. 60 seconds on the clock. Get in your chosen position and begin. And the key here is just that we're moving slowly and controlled. Good, we're passing that halfway point. Fingers and hands. Try not to shrug the shoulders or otherwise change position. Just stay in that same position. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll switch directions. So now we're going this way, lifting up, lift. Ready, 60 seconds on the clock, and begin. And whichever way you best feel the tissue working, hands can be this way, and you can just push up like that. Hands can be this way. Hands can be forward. Whatever helps you feel that work best. Passing the halfway point. Good. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time. All right. Before we move to our dumbbell weight, we're going to do one more where we're in wrist flexion here. And what we're going to do is curl up the fingers into as good of wrist flexion as you can. So you're going to be locked into wrist flexion, curl up the fingers. It's much harder in a deeper angle, right? If I'm in a deep angle of wrist flexion here, it's going to be really hard to crumple or curl my fingers. If I'm back here, it'll be easier. So tighter angle, harder to squeeze. Bigger angle, easier to squeeze. And what you might want to do if you want to get some of that tight angle tension, you can come to where you can, where it's challenging to close them, tighten that angle, and then slowly release. You'll relax into the easy angle, curl those fingers, tighten that angle, and slowly release. Or you can just stay in that tighter angle and work the whole time. All right, so this one we'll do one at a time. 1 minute on one side, 1 minute on the other side. Ready? Find your position. Again, you can have fingers forward, fingers in. Ready? And begin. Curl those fingers and then try to squeeze a little more wrist flexion. And don't, since we did a lot of the wrist flexion already, don't skip out on really trying to curl those fingers. So curl them up as much as you can. Find that end of the curl and squeeze for a little bit more, and you'll really feel that on your wrist. We're halfway there. Really try to squeeze that curl. Get a little bit extra hand curl. Try to close that hand up. Slowly release. We've got 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll switch sides. Find that other side, big stretch. Yeah, and you can move your wrist around a little bit just to really loosen it up after all that work. Find that other side. 60 seconds on the clock and begin. Curling up. Curling up and squeeze. And this is all about squeezing those muscles, feeling the top side stretch, and then the motor control under tension on that flexion side. Passing that halfway point. "15 seconds to go." Actually, we're at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease out. All right. So grab my chair, get myself ready. Chair and your dumbbell or your bench or whatever surface you're using. We're going to do the exact opposite of that now. So we're going to come all the way up into flexion, where we just curled those fingers all the way in. Now we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to slowly start releasing that flexion, move into extension. I'm not just letting the dumbbell flop. I'm actually controlling it slowly into wrist extension, getting as much wrist extension as I can, and then slowly down to the fingers. Get as much finger extension as you can without dropping your weight. And then you're just going to roll it back up. And we've done a lot of flexion work, so you can even assist it back up. We don't have to do an extra wrist curl. You could assist it all the way back into flexion, because the main thing now we're working is into extension. All right, so we're going to have, let's do a little longer into extension. So we'll do 75 seconds on the clock into flexion, ready, and begin. Moving into that wrist extension. Forearm is staying flat on the table the whole time. Smooth into extension. Feel those fingers holding that weight and then fingers curling that weight. Try not to get momentum, rolling it up. Fingers curling and controlling that weight, assisting back up. Good, and I'm just gonna switch my angle just a little bit on the side as well. We've got 10 seconds. Keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time will switch. Other arm. Get into nice flexion and begin into extension. Let it roll all the way to those fingertips. Control and come back. As you're working, try to find that good wrist extension position. So feel that forearm and wrist stretch, and then come down. "15 seconds. 10. On 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Put that aside. And then we'll go into eccentrics this way and eccentrics that way. So eccentrics are just moving that tissue into their stretch position, almost like we just did right there. So we're just kind of changing up the angles and how we're doing this. And again, you could stay on your chair for your wrist eccentrics here. So we could just go here on your chair, counter, anything like that. Again, I'm just going to go on the floor here. And we're going to start out with a big angle here. Start off with a big angle. You're going to push pressure down, gas pedaling down. As I'm pushing pressure down, I'm going to rock my weight forward into my best wrist extension. And then we'll do 5 of those. Wrist flexion, same thing. Wrist cars, elbow cars, call it a day. All right, so here we go into wrist extension, sitting back, pushing down, and we're gonna go about 5 seconds. You can go a little faster, a little slower, whatever best helps you feel that stretching tissue work. So we're pushing down, shifting forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, into end range and just reset. Push down and shift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end range and reset. That's 2. Push down and shift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end range and reset for 3. And push. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end range and reset. Last one, pushing down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end range and switch. So this one we're starting off high, pushing into the ground and slowly dropping ourselves into deeper and more flexion. So we're up here resisting, like we're trying to stop ourselves from getting into deeper flexion, and we're just putting more weight on it. So push down and 5, 4, 3, deeper into flexion, 2, 1, and reset. Push down and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep into flexion and reset for 2. Push down and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep into flexion. That's 3. Last 2. Push down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, deep into flexion. That's 4. And remember, as you're going down, we want the force going into the wrists, so we're not bending our elbows as we go down. Send that force. You can adjust your position to kind of moderate how much force you're sending in, but don't change the location of the force. You could change the intensity of that force, but don't change the direction and let it disperse into elbows. Last one, pushing down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, finish off here. Let's just do 3 wrist cars each direction and we'll call it a day. Just trying to get into and control that access to that tissue that we've stretched into and worked. So here we go. At your kind of your own pace. Actually, you know what? We'll just do 45 seconds one direction, 45 the other way. Ready and begin. At your own pace. I really just want you to concentrate and feel the movement for yourself rather than keeping up with me or doing a certain number of reps. Just kind of feel that tissue working. I'll give you a little time to feel it working. Controlling it. Both sides of that joint, mostly flexion and extension. We didn't do too much ulnar or radial deviation, but there are exercises for that as well if you feel like you need that. And you can apply the same kind of principles that we did, right? Stretch, PAILs and rails. Stretch that way, PAILs and rails. Let's switch directions. But mostly wrist, hand flexion, and extension today. Breathe, slow it down, feel those tissues just kind of working, moving. And we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Great job, everybody.